Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fishlocker out on the boat. Out on an absolutely beautiful morning on the boat. It's been a week since we've checked the pots. We've got some fine weather for it. Let's go. Whew, last one. Well, that one's done well. Yeah, that one on the end's done well. Whew. Oh. Let's spin this boat around so you're not looking into the sun. Right, let's have a look in this one. We have a male velvet swimming crab and a male brown edible that's trying to make an escape. Yeah. Velvet swimming crab. Now this one is big enough to keep, but the bylaw being as it is 3 of these crabs are the same as 3 of these crabs. I think you can figure out which one I'd rather keep. There's far more meat on one of these than there is in 3 of those. So yeah, this is it's a male brown edible crab, and he needs to go to there. He needs to be the biggest one on this measure. He's about 10 mil undersized. But yeah, brown edible crab. In this pot we have a couple of little spiders that haven't quite made it through the parlour yet. Come on, 3 come. We don't regularly catch so many spiders in these pots because they're covered in spikes. I mean, these are 2 little males. These are just, well, could be brothers, couldn't they? They're the same size. Yeah, 2 juvenile males, and they are covered in like spines all over around their shell, and they get stuck in like the netting, so they can't get into the pots as well. So yeah, you don't often catch them in these soft eye pots. Yeah. You can tell it's a male because it's got like a narrow V underneath. But interesting to see that this one's got a lot more red in it than this one. Yeah, both undersized. Where's the size for him? Spider crab's 130. Yeah. He is probably, again, 10 mil undersized. The spider crabs get monstrous. So yeah, I wouldn't take one until they're big. Another velvet, but this time a female. For anyone who hasn't seen this before, I've covered this a few times, but they're called a velvet swimming crab because they've got a velvet texture to their shell, and because they've got these swimming legs on the back. Male brown edible and another male brown edible. Both of them undersized. This guy's big enough though. This guy is a nice one. Oh, that's disappointing. Well, disappointing for me, not for him. He saved himself. Yeah, this is a nice big lobster. But there is a problem. Just 1 second. This lobster here is well oversized. He is, yeah, probably 100 mil. That is a stunning sized lobster. Well, you crazy ape. Yeah. No V-notches. He's a male, so he's got no eggs. But, I don't know if you can see that. He is soft. You can just, now look. You hear that? His shell's soft. So he has shed his shell probably in the last month, maybe less, because he's just firming up. But he will be full of water. Lobsters, crustaceans, have a hard exoskeleton. Crabs, lobsters, scorpions, spiders, all of them, they have a hard exoskeleton. In order for them to grow, they need to shed off their old shell. They absorb water and they swell, and then they harden up again. So they don't grow gradually like other creatures. They grow in stages. Well, this guy has shed off his old shell and he's hardening up his new one. So yeah, although he's big enough, he would be worthless to take. So you have a stay of execution, my friend. Yeah. Fingers crossed, and we'll see you in a month when you're hard. Come back when you're hard enough. Now that end pot though, that end pot does look to have done quite well. I don't know if you can see in there yet, but we have 4 lobsters in that one pot. They all look around about the he's too small, but there's, yeah, we might have done okay out of this. So I can see what I'm doing. Get the small one out first. Down. Little male. Undersized by about 5-6 mil. Well, who's the next smallest? Probably that one. Female. Oh. About 1 millimetre undersized. Can you hear that rattle? You need to measure them from the back of the eye, parallel to this line, to the back of the carapace. It needs to be 90 millimetres, which is what this measure is. If there's any wiggle room, she's under. This one is like 89. So 2 for 2, we've got 2 undersized. Oh, we have a winner. This one is about 91, so he's big enough. Is it a he? Yes, it is. It's a he. And what about you? A lady. Oh, that again is wiggle room. Now look, got the back of the eye, back of there. 1 millimetre undersize. So out of one pot we have 4 lobsters. 3 of them are undersized. 2 of them are 1 millimetre undersized. So the next time they're shed, instead of being like 89, they might be 95. So yeah. 1 out of 4. Sorry, pal. Your luck's run out. You're coming home with me. Yeah. That pot come up and I saw all them. I was like, oh, we've done all right here. Yeah. That's how it goes. I will refresh the bait in these pots. It is minging. Like, I've covered this before, but anyone who hasn't seen them. Crabs generally like fresh bait. Lobsters like rotten, stinking bait, like putrid stuff. They eat the horriblest stuff, which is one of the reasons why I don't like eating the internal organs of lobsters, just because you look at what they eat. They're well, bugs of the sea. They're considered like the cockroaches of the sea, the garbage disposal of the sea. If it's dead and it's rotting on the seabed, these guys will scoff it. Yeah. Refresh this bait and get them shot back. Undoing this bait pot, look. These work really well. In these pots I have got some pollock frames from a session I had on the Rex. They're going to work really well. But aye, they stink. Clean down time, and then we'll go and get the next ones. I live a pretty active life, and for the most part a pretty healthy one too. But approaching 40 has really got me feeling my age. And friends of mine of a similar age, it's almost like a competition between us to see who's got the most aches and ailments. One such issue that men can face is low testosterone. Now, this can affect not only your physical self, your muscle mass, your energy levels, your libido, but it can also affect your mental self. Symptoms of low testosterone can be mood swings, irritability, anxiety, depression, lack of focus. I mean, some of those can describe me most days. So Manual have reached out to me and asked me to take one of their at-home blood testosterone tests and share with my audience a 45% discount where you can get one too. Upon completion of the test, they will then share with you the results and any other further steps that you need to take. There is absolutely no shame if you have an issue seeking help with that issue. Now, I will link all the information that you need in the description below. Have a good one. The lobster's just dropped off the pot right next to the boat. That's annoying. Whew. Oh, I tell you what, it is an absolute breeze pulling them up when it's this calm. we have some quite interesting things to talk about in these pots. I'm going to sort these ropes out from beneath my feet. We'll start having a look. But yeah, I'll talk about the catches, the difference in catches, and why this one is done different because of its different shape and design. Right, this pot is slightly different from the others because it is a top entry pot, as in everything climbs in through here. Because there isn't as much netting, you generally catch the bigger crabs and the spider crabs in these type of pots, which is why we have more crabs and more spider crabs than all the other ones. Straight away, let's have a look. We've got an undersized male. Yeah, just undersized. $8 mil undersized, probably, something like that. Oh. And a little velvet. Move you to the side. Another male spider. And another male spider. Well, the boys must just be out on the march at the minute. Yeah. When you're keeping these, this one actually, this will be legal size. Yeah. This one's just over legal, so this is how big they have to be able to take. Another undersized brown edible. Let go, love. Right, there you go. Be careful with you because she's full of eggs. This is what you would call a buried hen. She's carrying her eggs underneath her tail there. I'm going to put her down in a bucket of water. We'll sort all these pots out and then we'll deal with her. Well, there's more to talk about and there's more to do with her. She requires special attention. Just store her here in this bucket of water. I'm not keeping her, I'm just holding on to her while I sort all these pots out, because we've got more to talk about there. It'll all make sense, but I'm not retaining her because it's illegal to retain her. What we got? Let's have a look. Right. First out, These guys are wick. They play possum. They'll lay on the back and pretend to be dead like that. Like this guy. And as soon as you put your hand in the pot, they'll go and grab hold of you. Yeah, there's another velvet. And another little male. Everyone's been a male spider crab. I mean, they are on the breed at the minute, so I guess these guys are all just marauding around looking for a bird. We do have another little velvet string crab. Another one that's got hold of me flipping finger. This is a bullhuss. This is a greater spotted cat shark. You want to just knock it off for a second? Just chill. Just chill out. Like stroking a dog. Don't stroke them the other way. Don't go against the grain because they don't like it. It's just like a dog. Yeah. You can tell this is a bullhuss over a dogfish because of these large nasal flaps underneath there. But that is a big one. That is something worth keeping. That is a big male brown edible crab. To show you how big they need to be, he needs to be 160 and he is about 165. I'll just spin the boat around a second. Yeah, this is a beautiful brown edible crab. Stacks of meat in them claws. He's got a good hard shell. You can tell because he's got the odd little bit of keelworms, and his shell is in like a dense colour. When they're almost see-through, you can tell they've just peeled their shell. But yeah, he's got to be the largest on the gauge. He's got to be 160, and this guy is the best part of like 165 to 170. Loads of meat in them claws. When to give you an example, like when they get sat in a pot, when they get stuck in a pot and they get hold of it, like this, you can't just pull on their body because they'll pull their claws off. You need to get hold of their claws individually and pull at their claws. So hold on to their claws and then pull. Otherwise, you pull their claws off. Yes. Happy with that one. Oh, I can't put this and the lobster together because this guy will kick the lobster to pieces. I've had it before, like where I've only had one bucket on the boat and I put a crab in with a lobster and all I can hear is like turn around and it's just a really smug looking crab and loads of bits of lobster. A crab will kick a lobster's ass like 10 times out of 10. Well, I'll give a little bit more context to that. Depending if of similar sizes, if you get like a donkey lobster, like a little tiny crab, yeah, then the lobster will probably win. That is what I like to see. That is perfect. They actually, most of those look like the size. Yeah, 3 beautiful lobsters. Start with you. We have a lovely looking female. She's got a beautiful looking tail. You big enough, love? You're going to be close. Can you hear the wiggle? Try the other side. She's actually big enough on one side, but she's undersized on the other. She's slightly fraction too small. Alright, we'll keep trying. Another female. Oh, no arguing, she is well oversized. That is brilliant. And funnily enough, we have a lobster that's missing everything down one side. He is missing a claw and all of his legs down. That's usually like a seal or something like that, something that's had odd of him. Or ripped everything off down one side. And he's had a hard time as well because he's lost one of his tail fans. In fact, there's a few things that I can talk about with this guy. I'll put him down and I'll talk about him specifically because there's quite a bit to talk about there. But this, yeah, perfect. You, young lady, are to keep. So I have my two sized lobsters. This guy here is size, I think. Yes, he is size. He's oversized actually, he's bigger than her. But there are a few things. In fact, I'll just eye her straight back. She's undersized. Make sure it's the right one. Yeah, she's marginally undersized, so she goes straight back. There are a few bylaws pertaining to lobsters in my area. When you are unlicensed, unregistered like I am, when you are just a pleasure fisherman doing it for your own consumption and your own enjoyment, you are allowed 2 lobsters and 3 crabs per day, or one lobster and 4 crabs, or 5 crabs. No more than 5. And no more than 2 of those can be lobsters or crayfish. There are other bylaws being the lobsters must be above 90 millimeters minimum. This one is above 90 millimeters. This one is above 90 millimeters minimum. The next bylaw is no buried hens, no lobsters carrying eggs like that one there that I'm going to talk about in a minute. The other one being no V-notches. Now lobsters can have their tails marked with a V, like this. See the V here? This classes as a V-notched lobster. This lobster also has what is called a mutilated tail. See, this fan is missing here. A mutilation is any damage in such a way that it could obscure a V-notch. So because there could have been a V-notch in this tail fan that is missing, like this, but the fan is missing, this counts as a mutilated tail lobster. So this one has to go back too. He is in fact just growing back all of these limbs. I'll get my other camera out and I'll show you because they're minute. You know what I was saying before about the lobster that was soft? He was shedding his shell to grow back a new one. Well, this guy, when he grows back his new shell, will start to grow back all of his limbs as well. They're incredible creatures. Yeah. Get the other camera out real quick. Right. Can you see that tiny claw that is just growing in there? Tiny claw, tiny leg, tiny leg, tiny leg, tiny leg. But also this guy's tail, he has a V-notch in it there, and he has a mutilation in it. So even though this guy's a male, you can see he's a male by these 2 white dots here, he is a V-notch and he is a mutilated. So this guy needs to go back. Yeah. I wonder if he just walks around in circles because he's only got stuff on one side. He'll just go. Well, good luck to you, lad. In fact, actually, give you a little treat to take away with you. Go on, back down. Get hold of it. Good luck. Well, don't take it then. Let's get these pots rebaited and shot back, and then we'll have a look at that buried hen. Definite clean down time now. You cannot have a clean boat and go potting. It's time to have a look at this little lady. This very valuable little, slowly, very valuable little lady right here. carrying these eggs. She's carrying, very carefully, the next generation of lobsters. Right there. I'm going to go grab this male and I'll show you the differences between. This is a male, and he has a narrower tail. Try and show you in a way that I'm not going to get nipped. See her tail like this? Calm down, calm down. It's a round of applause. There, look. He has got a much narrower tail than what she has, because she holds the eggs underneath her tail. He doesn't need to have a wide tail to hold the eggs, he can just have a narrow one. So the males have got a narrower tail. If you're going to cut it in half, the cross section of a female's tail flares out so she can hold the eggs underneath. The male's tail is round like that. And he will generally have bigger claws than a female of similar size. Not always, but generally. Yeah. Also an ID marker is these two white dots underneath here, which I've shown already. Now, as I discussed with that male that was V-notched, V-notching is a conservation measure that was designed and implemented to protect a breeding stock of lobsters on the ground at all times. Like putting savings away for future. You're protecting some breeding stock on the ground to make sure you've always got something seeding your stock. Now, initially it was just like buried hens, because this lady here, because she has eggs on her, she's a proven fertility. You know she's breeding, you know she's healthy because she's producing healthy eggs. And what you use a pair of V-notching clippers like this. And what you do is the two tail fans to V-notch. Now this is quite important. The two tail fans to V-notch is this one or this one. Never the central one, because in fact she's just doing it now. That's where a digestive system comes out and where a nervous system runs. And these ones on the end are segmented. So all you'll do is you'll get your V-notching clippers, go into one of these fans and give it a, like that, look. Quick, painless. All you're doing is, I would liken it to cutting a horse's hooves or cutting your fingernails. See that V there? Perfect V. Do one on the other side as well. Otherwise she'll flap around in circles. I don't know if that's true or not, I just made that up. Now, all I'm cutting out is a little tiny V of shell. And her tail now is marked with two perfect V-notches. There. When she comes to shedding her shell, she will grow them out, but they'll last for probably 3-4 years. So that means that she'll have at least a couple of seasons where she'll be able to breed and produce young and reseed the stocks before she can be legally landed again. There you go, that's the V-notching in essence. I'm just going to take it back now. I never like to work the same piece of ground all the time. So I've moved my pots probably half a mile from where they were last time. And I've drifted, in fact I can't even see my enders anymore. So yeah, I am that far away from my pots. There's no point dropping her back down where I've just put my pots, because she'll just go climb straight in them again for a free meal. I think there's a name for that type of lady. Aye, so I'll just get the other camera out, quickly film the underside of her tail and the V-notches, then we'll drop her back. There's the V-notches. There's those eggs. Ready? Away you go. See you later. There's a couple of things you can do with lobster's claws. Like, I band them. All I'll do is I'll get elastic bands and stick bands around them. Now some people use tape, I use elastic bands. There you go, it looks like. They're strong like that, they're not very strong like that. So an elastic band's fine. I'll just triple it over. You just need to be quick about it, because when you're banding one side, they can nip you with the other. Once you've banded them, it doesn't matter putting them together. Like, because these two have been banded now, they can go in the same bucket and it's fine. You can't put bands, can't put those elastic bands on these, and tape doesn't really hold because they've got a different type of shape. What you can do with these is knock them. I'll try and show you that. I don't know how it's going to work. You put something hard inside their claw so they bite down with it. It needs to be something big enough so when they bite down their claws open. And the hinge, the little tiny hinge in the corner of here, you put a knife and nick the cartilage, you'll hear a click, and it separates the cartilage from the shell, so it renders its claw useless, so it can't fight with everything else. I'll try and show you on the video. It might not work because it's quite fiddly. But yeah, these lobsters are going to be fine in there now with the bands on the claws. That's an incredible haul. 2 lobsters, well, more than 2 lobsters. We've had probably 4 or 5 sized lobsters, a buried hen, a V-notch and a mutilated, stacks of little lobsters, and a cracking great brown crab. No, I'm going to end up messing about and getting myself nipped on camera, and I'm going to look like a right plonker. But yeah, he's all right in a bucket by himself. And that them pots have fished really well. I think I'm going to go home and check them in 4 days. It's been a few more days. James and I are going to go and get them pots. There we go. Just stuck around some seaweed, I think. You help me out, James? Can you move this rope over to the other side of the boat, please? There you are, good man. As I bring it up, if you can pull it over.
Oh, some spider crabs. Oh, that's an interesting one.
I think we're going to have a few spider crabs in these pots. The top entry ones always catch more spiders, don't they?
Yeah, that one is also a cool one. It's got seaweed all over it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. There's a bit to look at in that one, isn't there? Oh.
This is interesting.
I know immediately what James is laughing at. Because I put these pots in a new place that's right on the edge of a bit of sand. Let me just spin the boat around. There you go. So you're not facing the sun, yeah. I put these pots in a new location, right next to a piece of sand, to see if I could get some more brown edible crabs. Spider crabs, brown edible crabs. We caught what I was targeting, but also because I baited them with more fresh bait. I baited them with carcasses from fish that I've caught. I've caught a lot more. We've got a lot more bycatch of something else as well. Right, let's start with this one. I'm going to grab your gauge. Where is it?
Gauge.
Right.
Spider.
There.
Spider.
Is the carcass out of a pout.
Pouting.
Like a dragon skull, isn't it? Dragon's skeleton.
Interesting.
And there is a pollock head. Right, spider crabs. James was looking at this one.
Yeah,
because this one is like a decorator. It's covered itself in seaweeds. Whereas like these ones are quite clean.
I can already see that one's
this one's like a little decorator crab.
I can already see that one's under 130.
Yeah, this one's too small. This one's.
Come back here.
Oh, look. We've managed to catch 3 spider crabs in one pot. Like that.
Some of them look under 130.
Now, the hairy one, the one covered in all the seaweed, is undersized. These other two are oversized, but they're not really big enough. They're sized, but they're not big enough. Not worth the trouble and effort of picking all the, cooking them and picking them. Now, this male velvet's obviously picked a fight with somebody that was bigger than him because he's torn both of his claws off.
And a tiny lobster that we...
And a little baby male lobster.
We can already tell that one's under 100.
190, yeah, it's a long way underneath the measure, isn't it?
Yep.
Miles under.
Yep.
So, back he goes.
Right, so the first one's done, second
Yep.
one.
I never like fishing my pots all the time on the same piece of ground, just because you fish that ground out. I try and alternate them all round. Sometimes, like, I leapfrog and cover over the period of a month. I might move them 5-6 times, and I might cover the area of like a mile. It's obviously as well, I do my very best to stay out of everyone's way, because although nobody owns rights to the seabed, it's a bit of a gentleman's agreement with the commercial fishermen that people fish in different places, and I just stay out of their way. I'd pick the little tiny spots where nobody works to just stay away from all, because it's not worth the hassle. Yeah, we have
Some dogfish
some kelp.
that we don't care about.
Yep. How many crabs have we got in this one? We have
A small spider crab that's lost a claw.
one here.
That most of them we can just see by sight are undersized.
Exactly right. So
Undersized.
count them out then.
Too small.
1,
Another too
2,
small.
3, 4,
Let's measure that one.
5 undersized crabs, 2 dogfish, 2 male dogfish,
2 dogfish. And a crab that might be right size.
oh, you're going to end up losing that claw if you don't. There we go. We have an undersized lobster, an undersized male, well undersized, no point even measuring him. Do you want to chuck him, Mum? Do you want to chuck this one back? Right. And we have a female brown edible crab.
Let's check her.
She has got
150 it needs
a nice
to be.
hard shell. I think she's going to be big enough.
150.
Right. Well over.
So we're
She's 165.
keeping her.
So that is a big female brown edible crab. So we'll stick her in the barrel, and just to have a look, we have a novice.
But
Squeeze it on its side. It's going to be big enough. It's a look, it's size, but squeeze it. Look.
damn it.
Don't know if you can see that or hear it.
Damn. It's the right
Slightly-
size.
Yeah, lovely sized lobster. Easily big enough. No V-notch cheese. Male. Soft.
That's the one pack.
In fact, his claws are quite hard. I'm going to hang on to it because it's just,
A bit soft.
yeah, it is hard. It's just its claws are hard, but yeah, it's tiny little bit soft. Crustaceans, crabs, lobsters, prawns, everything like that, they have a hard exoskeleton. That means they have their skeleton on the outside. They've got a hard shell. He has shed his shell probably a month ago, maybe more, and his shell is just hard. It's the tiniest little bit soft. When they're in that stage, when they're soft, they're full of water. Their meat hasn't fully filled their shells yet, so they aren't the best things to take because they're mostly water content. When their shells go properly hard again, you know they're full of muscle. So he's on the verge. Again, because I've had him because I've had them next to the sand, we have picked up more crabs and a couple of dogfish again. Lesser spotted cat sharks. Now normally, if I didn't have any fresh bait, I would use them to bait the pot. Oh, there's something away there. But I've got bait, so I'm going to chuck them back. A little female, another velvet, 2 velvets, another little one, 3 velvets, and a female brown edible, but this one's too small. And a spiny starfish. So yeah, out of these 3 pots, we have potentially 2 keepers, 1 crab and 1 lobster.
The easiest part.
These are pollock frames. Pollock frames from a session that we'd had out on the wrecks. A quick clean down and then we'll go and get the next ones. Right. On then. This is suspicious. This is very suspicious, considering that all the bait's been eaten and the pot's empty and he's slightly not where I left it.
Trawler must have got There we go.
Yeah. Spin the boat around so you're not looking into the sun. We'll get these ropes from beneath his feet. Yeah, unfortunately we do have opportunistic thieves in the area. I'm not the only person that suffers with it. There's a lot of other people that get their stuff stolen, and I have had quite a lot stolen over the years. And also like opportunistic anglers, thieves, pulling up pots and stealing the catch and then dropping them back down again. Now, part of the reason why I work my pots like I do, and the type of pots that I have, is to try and mitigate against that. But someone, I reckon, because I know exactly where I put this pot and it wasn't there and yet the other 2 were exactly the same, is I think someone's come along, pulled up the ender, got to the first pot, taken out what catch was in there, closed it back up and sent it back again. So it's like I say, all the catch in there.
It's gone.
Yeah, all the catch. There's someone has eaten all of the pollock frames that was inside of it. Like, it's all picked completely clean. There was 2 full pollock inside of this pot, and you can see from the other pots that we've had up that have been shot for the same period of time with the same type of baits in, dogfish and crabs. Yeah, with dogfish and crabs in every pot. And these other pots here are fished well as well. Someone has had this one up and they've stolen the catch out of it. Take my pots ashore for a bit and then bring them back out and hope that the thieves have either moved on or lost interest, found somebody else to steal off. You get them in every walk of life, unfortunately, don't you, James?
Yeah.
Get thieves in every walk of life. In this pot we have, gonna come over here, James? What do you reckon?
Undersized.
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 Another undersized spider crab. What about this one? What do you think about this one?
Okay. Behind the eye. Yeah, right size. 90.
Nope. under.
Just under.
It's got to be.
A millimetre under.
Got to be that line there. And this one here
It's just.
has about a millimetre of wiggle room. So this young male has had a stay of execution for possibly another year. Yeah. Do you want to lay this one back?
Yeah, I'll let him back.
Go on. Hard enough. Good job. For people curious about the bylaws that you hear me discussing in the videos, if you're wondering about who polices them, it's IFCA, Inshore Fisheries. And yeah, they not only do they inspect out at sea, they'll drive around in like a ribbon, a patrol boat, and they'll come aboard your boat and inspect you. In fact, I've done a couple of videos before where I've been inspected. As it was both times, I'd caught next to out, so they had out to look at. But yeah, they inspect on land as well, so they can inspect you at sea, and they can like inspect you in the car park or in the marina. Or, in fact, they have the powers of search over any person, vehicle, or premises that they believe to be in conjunction with fishing. What do you reckon about this then?
I think that lobster's going to be just undersized.
This one here,
Yeah.
I think they're both going to be big enough. Let go.
Okay,
When they get hold of the pot or something like this, you can't just pull the body because they'll detach the claw. If you're going to do anything, you need to get hold of the claw and pull the claw.
And
Big enough.
yes,
And he's got a hard shell. Round of applause.
round of applause. Round of applause.
Yeah, this guy is good enough to come home. Just drop him down here in this barrel. And looks like we have a double winner. No V-notches, no eggs,
Hard shell.
hard shell.
90.
Boom!
Boom.
Yeah, so actually, as luck would have it, I mean this female here, she's a stunning lobster. As an unlicensed, unregistered fisherman like James and I, we're allowed to take 2 lobsters per day. And that's not 2 lobsters each, like James and I can't take 4, the boat can take 2 in 24-hour period. Don't you get nipped.
Won't.
We're in a position now where we have 3 lobsters that are size. One of them though is semi-soft. So I'm going to discard that one, send that one back and keep these two hard ones. What we'll do, we'll store these pots and we'll talk about these lobsters because otherwise we're just going to end up falling about the place. I'm going to empty all the bait out of them other ones because it is absolutely minging, and then we're going to break them down and then we'll have a talk to you because yeah, I'm still going to set these ashore. That's better. Right. James and I are allowed to keep 2 lobsters. We have the choice of 3. I band their claws. I put elastic bands on their claws. Just to stop myself from getting nipped, but also to stop them fighting with each other. Yeah, some people use tape, I use elastic bands. They're all roughly
The same size.
the same size. In fact, this one is a little tiny bit bigger. Look. But as I was saying, this one here is ever so slightly
Soft.
just the tiniest bit soft. So we're going to keep these 2. Oh, sorry, James. We're going to keep these 2 and hold that other one back. You want to do the honours, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, give me 2 seconds to put these down over here. And there he goes.
Down he goes.
Down he goes.
With 2 lobsters.
Even
and
though
one crab.
someone helped themselves, we have 2 lobsters and a crab. Put a little tiny bit of water in with them. I can't put her in with them because she would kill them. Yeah, I'll stick her in a separate bucket. And then we will run these pots ashore. I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fishlocker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go!